me say this about Virginia. A couple of years ago when they started to ascend, they were not fun to watch. Now, if I went to school there and I'm winning games, I don't care.
Look, in Virginia,
I don't care about that.
Virginia, you applaud when the opposing team gets stuck in the shot clock, when it's down to 3, 2, and they're still passing. They don't have a shot set up yet. So you have to come to appreciate how Tony Bennett plays basketball.
There's no question. No question. But it took me a little while to fully appreciate that because it really ran counter to how I consume college basketball and really how we all consume it.
Well, forget college. All basketball. Think of what we see in the NBA.
Yeah,
right? It's free flowing. It's mostly ISO type stuff or pick and rolls and things of that nature. People are looking for shots in the NBA. At Virginia, you're looking for the right shot and also playing great defense.
But it's also done the right way. It's done the right way. Coach Bennett, and we've had him on, and I'm sure we'll have him again this week here. Coach Bennett, he's platinum. I mean, he's an incredible ambassador for your school. His defensive acumen you can't even measure it. It's so high that his aptitude it's rare. It's a gift from the basketball gods. And what's unique about them now is that they mix in that great defensive stuff with some guys who are now going to the NBA and put the ball in the hole.
Yeah, you're right.
One now plays for the Brooklyn Nets.
You're right.
DeAndre Hunter's going to be a top 10 pick. You're starting to see now this tough style to watch, though you appreciate it, now mesh with an offensive flow, and the end result is beautiful.
Well, look,
it really is, Tiki.
It's no accident that Joe Harris is an important player for an ascending Nets team, right? They're probably going to miss the playoffs, right? They're just out of it.
No, Nets are going to be in the playoffs.
Well,
they better not lose the Final Five or
exactly.
so, but
whatever.
Nets are okay.
They're likely to be in the postseason. Nobody expected them to be as good as they are. Joe Harris plays an important role for that team. You go look at the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, he's hurt right now, but Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year, and people thought it was a fluke. It's not. It's who he is. He's this they call him like the president of the team because he's just so diplomatic and he's smart and he's focused. He makes a shot when you need to. He makes the right play. It comes from what he learned in college, right? And I'm not discounting the Coach K's of the world or the Coach Calipari's of the world, who I think are fantastic college coaches as well. They just don't have those kids that are going to stay for 3 years or 4 years and get coached up the way that Tony Bennett is able to coach up his players because they stay for the length of their time. They stay for 4 years. And so when you look at a guy like DeAndre Hunter, when you look at a guy, I'm talking about now just on the college level, Kyle Guy or Ty Jerome or Diakite, who we were talking about, they're principled. So they don't make mistakes in crunch time. And if there's one thing that this weekend in college basketball taught us is that experience really, really matters, right? Whether it's making a free throws or whether it's a defensive rotation being just right or reading a play as a coach calls it up and executing it exactly as he calls it up. Carson Edwards, who pushes the ball up court and throws it out of bounds. Hold on.
Let's do what we should have done. Are you kidding me with that?
Dude, kid was awesome.
Are you kidding me?
Kid was awesome.
It was a video game.
Dude, he was making shots that didn't make sense.
Yeah, the bank shot, and I like that. This isn't you've earned the bank. You don't have to call that. That's good. I mean, stepping back.
Yeah,
I mean, but what he did was phenomenal.
It was. But
it was scary good.
But back to what Tony Bennett is doing is he's teaching fundamentals to kids that serves them in important games like we saw over the weekend, but also if they do get into the NBA and make a team, they become valuable pieces to a team, right? They're not gonna disappear into the G League because they don't have the basketball skills.
I would totally agree with
right?
that.
And so they might not be stars, right? But they're going to be available.
DeAndre Hunter might be,
and they're going to be significant role players for you. And that's the key to what Tony Bennett has brought to Virginia. And BT, what I think it's starting to do, because you're seeing them continually have success, right? Get to the NCAA tournament, you get to the round of 32, you get to the round of 16. Now you're here at the Final Four. Some kid will say, I could go be one and done, and maybe I'll end up in the G League in 3 years, or maybe I'll go play 3 or 4 years for Coach Bennett at Virginia. Compete for a national championship. Always compete for an ACC championship, whether it's regular season or in the ACC tournament. And you know what? Make myself into something. And by the way, get a great education as well. Just what mom and dad want me to do. Right? So there's a narrative that's starting to change.
Not for everybody.
It's not.
Not for everybody.
But there's a narrative that's starting to change because of Virginia's success.
Agreed.
Right? You used to not see teams like this be able to be successful. And that was the narrative that followed Tony. He can't win in March. You can't get it done. It's nonsense. It just takes time to get it done, to get all the right players. To BT's point, back in 2015, it was hard to watch.
It was
Virginia.
tough. It was tough.
If you didn't appreciate it and you weren't an alum like me, it was hard to watch them. They were racing the 45-50, and that's not a joke.
No,
like, people have forgotten the scores of those games back then.
They've had a few this year.
I know, but now they have some shooters. They have a Kyle Guy who we thought was going to be lost for the second half, and he comes back and hits 5 3-pointers. Right? They have these guys who are unafraid and confident as hell in their shots. You mix that with playing great defense, you get teams that get to the Final Four. I mean, that's what I appreciate. Is that it didn't just happen. He didn't go recruit these one and done kids and say you're gonna help me fulfill my legacy. He said we're gonna build a program, and eventually all you guys are gonna come along into the program that I built and the philosophies that I espouse, and we're gonna win the right way. And that's why they're here in the Final Four. It took them some time,
sure,
but they're here, and it's awesome.